So everybody, before we get started, you know that there's a pre-production and everything that's set up. I want to thank my lovely wife Stacy for handling everything. Me and Amy are just on-air talent. We don't do anything else. But I mean, personally, right? So, quick thing, real quick. This series I've been doing podcasting since 2017, and Amy and I have a connection through a young man named Calvin Unroe. Calvin is a great guy that I went to school with. She went to school with him. And obviously they have way more history than I do with either one. But Calvin used to talk about you all the time when we were riding the bus home. Only a 10-minute ride, never on the way to school, but after school. My sixth grade year, which would be your seventh grade year. Such a great guy. I want to give him a quick shout out there. And everybody else that's from Rustburg, the teachers and everybody, too many to name. Miss Lipscomb, you know I got to give you a major shout out there. And everybody else. And we have Christina right on. But before we get started, let's let the intro play. So here it goes.
WV Uncommon Place. This podcast is a variety podcast that houses numerous series to cover mental health, empowerment, podcast framework, and various intimate theories to get to know the hosts. Along with occasional movies reviews and dives in pop culture with our event podcast episodes. The Uncommon Place digs into bringing guests on that stories don't fit the mold and are very different. WV stands for the great state of West Virginia, and every quarter we cover something in West Virginia. Stacey and myself, JR, are your hosts, so please come along for this venture to our Uncommon Place.
Howdy, everybody. My name is J.R. Sparrow, and if anybody was here previously, you heard me say that. And I have a special guest with me today. This young lady that's with me here, I have known her for a long, long time. I met her in middle school, the great Rustburg Middle School that used to be there, but now there's the illustrious Rustburg Middle School. Her name is Amy Lewis. Some of you know her as Amy Gloss back then. Shout out to her brother Sean and their family. So real fast, like we do, something that's very nostalgic to the show, I ask, who is Amy Lewis?
Who is Amy Lewis? First and foremost, I am a mom. I have 4 awesome kids, and they are pretty much my life.
Okay. Now, you come on this show with a story that has captivated our community. Now, the one thing I will say about Rustburg, we are a very tight community, but we're a loose community in this thing. When someone goes through a transformation or something happens, we are there to support each other. And when things happen, you know, that are sometimes sideways, people hear about it in our closed groups. We talk with each other. Or the great thing about Rustburg also, shout out to Ashley Vire for this one. We're all connected by someone. So me and you are connected by Ashley Vire, which is connected to another Ashley, and this one and that one. So that's how our communities work in Rustburg. We all grew up at different points and different times, but we were all in the same area. As long as we were all in the same yearbook, we were pretty much connected at some point. Now, Amy, you in school, you never know the image of who you are until someone else tells you. Because we just go to school, we don't care who we are. I had blonde hair in my freshman year. You know, and now it's black. So the thing is, you were the cheerleader. If there was something that went on with cheerleading, you were every part of it. If I had to write a book on cheerleading, I would go, and I know you're Amy Lewis now, but I would say Amy Gloss, Cheerleading 101. And then I'd have Miss Lipscomb looking and pointing on the cover. So here's my thing. Tell us how life went from high school to where you are today.
Yes. That is true. I love cheerleading. I bleed Rustburg blood even to this day. And coming out of high school, I went straight into pretty much being a mom. My oldest was born, I was graduated in 2003, and my oldest was born in 2006, and literally jumped right into family life. And my main focus has been my children. So my focus came off of myself, and went to my children. So I think that's how I kind of ended up in the situation weight-wise that I did. I didn't care about myself, put myself last until last year.
Okay. Now let's go back into the process, like because there's two things that happen in life. When we get to our middle age, we can either hit the spread or you get smaller. And in my case, I've always been 200 pounds. Like that's what I wrestled in school, and I just always stayed there. Now you obviously changed in things. So did it start out as emotional eating, or what type of eating turned you into the person that you were, not who you are now?
Yeah. Well, it started from when cheerleading ended. I conditioned all the time with cheerleading, and so I could eat however I wanted in high school and not gain. So once cheerleading stopped, kept eating the way that I was, pounds started getting put on. Then after pregnancy, I had gained a lot with my very first pregnancy, and that weight just didn't come off like it should have. And then, yes, I definitely was an emotional eater. Emotional eating is a real thing. You go through a lot of trials in life, and I turned to food for comfort. I went through several pregnancies. I went through a divorce, went through a really big relationship after that as well, and postpartum depression hit as well, and it just kept adding up. And I had lost, before Avi was born, I had lost a lot of weight for my brother Sean's wedding, and did that naturally, eating right and working out. And then after Avi's pregnancy, I went through some really tough times and fell into some depression, ate again, and it just kept adding up.
Okay.
And then after Axel's pregnancy, it wasn't coming off again.
Ooh.
Like, I don't know if it was age or what, but I was trying and trying and trying. It just wasn't coming off. So turned to bariatric.
Okay. And I know how it is because, like, I'll be honest, I wrestled in different things, but I would eat a whole thing of Oreos.
Oh, yeah.
The family size. I didn't need the regular one. You could just take it away. And I would drink half a gallon of milk with it. Or ice cream. Was ice cream your thing?
Oh, I love ice cream.
Chocolate chip cookie dough, putting hot fudge on it, then putting shell on it.
Yeah.
That's how gangster I was. Like,
Yeah.
I really would eat it. And the comfort that you get from it, even though it's quick, it's settling because you always know you can go back to it.
Yeah.
It's almost a odd way of almost having a drug addiction to a
It
degree.
is. Yeah.
And the thing is in our communities, when we're eating, people want to eat with us and then they want to continue us. And if we're growing and they're growing, nobody's going to say anything.
Yeah.
And my question to you is, like, the hardest thing that we do as adults now in our 30s, well, I'm 40 now, so.
Same here.
Yeah, happy 40 for you too. In our 30s, we had to look in the mirror. And in looking in the mirror, what changed after your last child? Like, what changed in you? And you said, I am going back to the Amy Lewis /Gloss that I was in high school and middle school.
Yeah. Last year, 2024, I had spent January through April going back to working out, eating right. I spent those 4 months really like going at it, and nothing was happening. And I was so frustrated. I had a couple of friends who had been through bariatric surgery already, had really good luck with that. And I was like, tell me more. Tell me more, please. Like, what do you have to do to look into this? Started looking up all the different ways. And I was like, you know what? It is my time, mom's time. My kids are older. I mean, I have a 19-year-old, but I also have a 5-year-old. I was like, he's independent now. It's me time. And so I looked into the bariatric surgery. There was 6 months worth of things that you have to do leading up to the surgery.
All right, and can you break that down for us? I do know one thing, and this is one thing that's key and major, is the mental evaluation.
Yeah.
Can you tackle that first for us and then go on to the rest of it?
The psychiatric evaluation, very long interview that you have. you have to be mentally prepared for this because it does mess with you. I didn't see it like going into the process. I was like, really? Like psychiatric help? Really? Do you think I'm really going to need that? I'm losing weight. Of course, I'm going to be thrilled. Woo! But they were very big on their questionnaires and making sure that you were mentally ready for this process. Also, lots of doctor's appointments, blood work. They do like GI studies for like acid reflux because that can become worse after surgery if it's present. Sleep apnea, you have to see if that is a thing because that can be very dangerous as well. Nutritional therapy, did 6 months worth of nutritional therapy and really teaching you the correct way to be eating. You know, beforehand I was like, this is stupid. Like, I know how to diet, but it really has helped because your body now after surgery forces you to diet and eat healthy. And you don't have choice. You eat the wrong thing, you're going to throw up. You're going to be on the toilet. Like, it's just that nutritional therapy was vital.
So inside that, was it things like dairy? Were there certain type of things that come out of your diet?
Bread.
Okay, bread.
Carbs are a big no. Fat, sugar. I have to look at calories, those things on a nutritional label. Protein first is what they push for bariatric. Like, your protein intake has to be way up there. Right now, meats, fish, chicken, steak, all of that, that's like what I eat. And that has to be first. Then you can move on to your veggies, and then you can add some starch. So, yeah, it forces you to diet. Like, if I could have dieted like this before the surgery, I would have lost weight for sure. But the surgery also removes your hunger cues.
Okay.
Well, for me, it did. For some, I've heard people say they wake up after surgery and they're still starving. But it is supposed to remove your hunger cues. And I literally woke up December 17th, 2024, and I haven't been hungry since. I have had to eat because I know I need to eat.
So you eat now to sustain. You don't eat to thrive.
Exactly.
Okay, and I
I
like that.
eat because I know I need to. Now, over time, they say your hunger cues will come back, but they call it your honeymoon phase, the first year after your surgery. And you really have to train your body to eat correctly. Otherwise, when that honeymoon phase is done and your hunger cues come back, you're going to fall right back into the same cycles. So, I feel like I've been very strict with myself, stuck to the diet, stuck to what my doctors and nutritional people have told me. And I feel like that's why I've been really successful
Okay.
and hope to continue to be successful.
Now, let's go deeper into the psychology of this. Now, mind you, December, let's go into March or April of this past year. You know, the kids are getting ready to go for spring break or different things. So you know you're going to be outside, you're going to be doing activities where you work. You got softball, you got baseball, you got everything that happens on the go. You're going up and down Ward's Road somewhere, right? How do you prepare yourself mentally, knowing that you shouldn't stop at Chick-fil-A for yourself? Knowing, and nobody wants to go to McDonald's, so we're not going to even say that, but knowing that, are you a Starbucks person or were you? Dunkin'?
I'm not a coffee
Oh, so
drinker
you're
at
not,
all.
so then you're already safe. So what was your thing? What was something that you had to have every day before this?
Okay, that's funny because my surgeon, the first time that I met with him, he was like, "Do you drink coffee?" And I said, "No." And he was like, "That right there is big because coffee is a very dangerous thing for people because it's filled with sugar, filled with fat. That is one thing you can already check off your list that is not going to be a hindrance to you." I never have been a coffee drinker.
So
I
you're
wish I
lucky.
was. I wish I was, but I'm not. It's definitely a no-go for me. Then he asked me about sweet tea. I don't drink sweet tea either. I know. I've never been a tea drinker. And so he was like, oh, well, check that off. I said, I like diet sodas. I've always been,
Aspartame.
yeah, I've always been a Coke Zero girl. Like that was my jam. But last year in June, when I started the process in April, May, June, I stopped drinking soda altogether because I thought, okay, this is what I'm going to have to do. So I stopped drinking them. And he was like, no, diet soda is okay. Regular sodas, that's where sugar's at. And he was like, so you're even fine on that as well. So I really crave like monster drinks. I have
Energy drink. Okay.
yeah, the sugar-free energy drinks have always been like my thing. And once I was cleared to bring carbonation and caffeine back into my diet, I jumped all over a monster drink.
What flavor?
Well, right now they just came back out with the black cherry,
Ooh, okay.
and it is literally my all-time fave. But I like them all.
Well, that's good on that one. I do want to give a shout out to my wife real quick. She likes Rockstar. I've never had an energy drink in my life. I don't like you.
Really?
You never had coffee?
Yeah, no.
Yeah, just I drink coffee here and there. Actually,
Yeah.
I'm just a soda drinker now. Now, you come out of the surgery, and your oldest, she has to look at you. You have to explain to her because your younger ones are, you have a high school age child, and then you have your others, but your 19-year-old, that's your spitting image. They all look like you, but she's your spitting image. She is your mirror. And you have to talk to her and walk her through this process. What do you tell her when you come out of surgery?
Like about why I had the surgery?
Like, how did you prepare her for it?
Yeah. My kids have been absolutely supportive of this. They were 100% do this for yourself, mom. And my two oldest specifically, had said, do this so that we can have you longer. They didn't look at me and see a fat woman. Even now, when I pull out my before and after pictures, I've had both Delaney, Aubrey, and Avie say to me, I don't remember you looking like that. I don't remember you being big like that. But that's because they didn't see a fat woman. They saw their mom, and they loved me regardless. And Delaney and Aubrey have both said that. We love you regardless, but do this for you. And so we've created this positive thing around the surgery and getting healthy, and so that you can live longer. I was a walking heart attack risk, and now I'm healthier than I've been since high school.
Whoa, okay.
And I think, they're very proud of me, incredibly proud of me. And my oldest being away at college, she would come home and see the difference in just the handful of weeks of her being gone. And she was like, yeah, Mom, you're kicking its butt. You're doing amazing. So
Shout out to the Hokies.
That's right. That's right. She goes to Virginia Tech. She's doing great.
Now, you go through everything, and everybody has a moment in the day that they're alone. And that's a hard mental process to take 15 minutes in your day that you're actually alone somewhere, even if it's just the commute here or there, or leaving a classroom and taking your break. How do you handle the idea that I was this person and now I'm this person, and I have a proven method to keep myself as the person I am today? Like, how do you handle that kind of pressure in your head? Because the thing is, like, we're all shifting and losing weight, but you had a surgery. That surgery, I'm glad it was no complications, correct?
No complications.
Thank you for
goodness.
that, and thank the Lord for that. Or however you believe, but we believe in the Lord here. So
That's
all
right.
right. So the thing that I will say is, like, you know that you have a proven pathway to go, but like sometimes you go back and look, you see the pictures when it's not a person around in public, or even the mental picture you put in your head, you see that lady that you were. How do you take care of that on a day-to-day basis. And the reason I ask you that, and that's going to be the gem inside this episode, there's a lady out there, there's a man out there that's wanting to have this surgery. And getting this insight from you is what's going to help them continue on their journey instead of stopping and staying where they are. So
Right.
the floor is yours.
Right. Yeah. It is, you look in the mirror, I look in the mirror still, and I still see big Amy. It's such a mind game for sure. You walk past a mirror at a grocery store or in a mall, and you're like, who's that? Like, literally, I have stopped and like did a double take because I don't recognize myself. I have lost so much weight in such a short amount of time that my brain has yet to catch up with my body. And that can really be hard to just digest. And you got to keep pushing forward. You've got to remind yourself why you're doing this and just be positive with it. I have stopped and I've tried to be negative. I've picked my body apart. Even now, I still find myself picking myself apart. And I have literally said just the other day to a friend, like, why do I do this? Why am I still doing this? I picked myself apart when I was overweight. Now I'm picking myself apart and I'm thinner. Like, it's just something that's never ending. So trying to like get out of that mind frame and being positive and just being happy with where I am. I do hear people say, I have heard somebody say, can you imagine what she looks like under those clothes? Meaning like my skin.
Yeah.
So I knew that loose skin was going to happen.
Right.
I went from a very large size to a small size in a very quick time.
Right.
But that was something that I accepted because my heart is so much healthier now, and I'm okay with that.
And with that, with the skin and everything, creams and
Yeah, well,
lifting weights and tightening your...
there's skin removal surgery.
Right.
And, that's on my to-do list possibly. It's a very painful surgery, but, I would like to eventually have it done. Now you're not able to have that done until you're about 2 years out from your surgery.
Okay.
I'm only 8 months in.
Right.
So I've got a while, but I eventually would like to complete my process, right? I'm working really hard to lose this weight. Getting rid of the skin eventually would be ideal.
Okay.
Is it something that I need to do? No. And am I worried about what other people say when it comes to my skin? Absolutely not.
Right.
I've gotten to that point where, people are going to have negative things to say always, no
Right.
matter what you do.
And as long as you're happy and you can find like a continuum to stay happy,
Right.
and you have a goal set for an optimal weight, and then when you get to that optimal weight,
Right. And honestly, with this surgery, I've had people say, I think you've lost enough weight, you should probably stop. Guess what? I can't stop. My body will continue to do its thing until it reaches a happy medium. I can't force myself to stop losing weight. If I was to stop right here, I would be super happy. I'm very happy with where I'm at. If I continue to lose weight, awesome. But I just feel like I just have to get into that mind frame of going with the flow, being very happy with my success, and still being a positive person for my kids, because I have girls that are totally watching.
Right.
And, being body positive. Even overweight, I tried to be positive.
right,
It was very hard to be positive, but I tried.
right, and that transparency that you taught your daughters, and you were showing other people too, other young ladies out there, that doesn't matter your size as long as you're comfortable. But when we actually talk about the part of having optimal health and diabetes, because I'm a diabetic, so I have to, like you're doing carb and all that.
Yeah.
Stacy has to watch everything for me.
Yeah.
And things like that. You don't want to become a diabetic, have high cholesterol, everything, because in our 30s, our bodies start slipping. Like 35, things started getting crazy, you know?
They did. And that's why I feel like I was struggling to lose weight after having Axel because of my age, and I was getting up there. So turning to bariatric surgery, I've heard it's the easy way out. Well, I'm here to tell you it's not easy. There's nothing easy about a surgery that has so many complications, risks, and you still have to do the diet. It's still forcing you to diet. It's a tool that is keeping me straight. It's holding me accountable and forced me to eat correctly.
Now, are you a part of any support groups like to deal with this? Or?
There's a lot of support groups out there. I went through Central Weight Loss.
Okay.
And they have a lot of support before surgery groups and post surgery groups. They meet every so often. I go every 3 months for doctor's appointments. They do blood work because one of the risks with the surgery is malnutrition, especially with the bypass. What I had, my small intestine was completely detached, and my large intestine is attached to the small stomach that I have. The small intestine is where you absorb everything. And so now I don't absorb nutrients like I should. I have to take multivitamins several times a day in hopes that I am absorbing some. I don't absorb from the food that I eat very well. So I have to have blood work done every couple of months to make sure that all of your levels are.
And one thing I want to say to you, not to cut you off or anything, is your hair is amazing. Let me tell you why. Because in doing this, I talked to a lot of people about that surgery.
Yeah.
I actually lost someone to the surgery.
Yeah.
And your hair is still radiant. It's got a good sheen to it. How did you keep that? And I know that's off topic, but how did you keep that? Because a lot of people, they lose hair.
It's a side effect. A side effect is hair loss. And I have lost over 60% of my hair, I would for sure say. As a matter of fact, this morning in the shower, I was taking clumps out of my hair, and it's so sad. But I started with a lot of hair. I've had thick hair my whole life. So because of that, I feel like it still looks nice and healthy. It's definitely way thinner than it's been ever. And it kind of freaks me out a little bit. But I know that there are patients that start with thin hair and they have to resort to scarves or wigs because there is a lot of hair loss. Your body is going through so much changes, so much hormonal changes. It's like in shock, and that is something that does happen. And I do have way thinner hair than I did, and I'm like, no, not my hair.
But I mean, you still have a
But
good.
thank you.
You still have a good grade, so
It's so thick. I think that was a blessing for me. I hated my thick hair my whole life, but now it's definitely become a blessing for me during this.
Okay.
But
Now, doing this, you have another aspect to what you do. You like to braid hair, right?
I love braiding hair.
And you have a company. You can go ahead and tell us a little bit about that while Stacy's working to get everything up. And she's going to give us a cue real quick, guys, because this is the first official live stream. She's going to give me a thumbs up when she's ready for us to start talking about that. And the reason I want to just take a quick sidebar to that is because you have to have a healthy interest in something, a hobby, or in a job.
Yes.
You know, and you have a hobby and a job.
Yes.
And in doing both of those, that gives you a sense of being beyond your kids. Because one thing that gets me about all of us from Rustburg, we had a strong community, but self-worth was something that I don't think was expressed to a lot of us. I don't know if it was you or anything. Me personally, I had my self-worth because I was always conceited. You couldn't break my self-esteem. So we're ready to go now. But your self-worth, did you have it then or do you have it now?
Well, like I was saying earlier, my inner voice is so negative. It's always been that way my whole life. Never, ever do I ever think positive or confident in myself? So working through that has been a big change for me,
Okay.
especially through this
So it's
process.
a set of stairs. You're always
Oh
going up it.
yes, always going up it.
Okay.
And so, I've heard, with weight loss you may sound conceited, and it's not that. It's just trying to be positive with the way that I feel now.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was one thing I do want to tell you. Thank you for coming on the show for that, because there's been a lot of people that have shown interest, and they're like, they wanted to know about this. Like once I put it
Yes.
out there that we
Yes.
had, agreed on
This
it.
surgery is scary, and there are complications that come with it. I have not had, thankfully, yet any sort of complications with the surgery, and it is life changing. If you can have it done, I say go for it and jump all feet in. You can't be hesitant about it. Jump with both feet in and just do it.
So embrace it. That's the thing there.
That's right.
Now, getting over to what your business is.
Yeah.
Tell us about your business real quick, if you don't
Yeah.
mind. Well, not real quick, but let us know about what you do.
Over the summer, I started the company Simply Braids, and I have always loved braiding hair, just French braids. And I was asked I did a vending at a softball tournament, and so many moms asked for a Facebook page. Do you have a business? Do you have a business? Do you have a business? And I'm like, no, I don't. And they're like, why not? So I started Simply Braids, and people contact me to come and braid their kids' hair before an event, whether it's a dance recital, a softball game, a soccer games, basketball games, or just for picture day. I've had moms that need their hair braided. There's a lady that I braid pretty regularly, and she's a surgeon, and she wants her hair braided before she goes into work and works 12-hour shifts. And she's like, this is the best thing. It's the best thing, just having my hair braided nice and tight, out of my way. I don't have to worry about it. So I never knew. So many people didn't know how to French braid because I was taught when I was really, really young. But I'm here to help you. If you need something French braided, I literally can throw a French braid in like less than 5 minutes.
Whoa.
Yeah,
I need to grow my hair back out.
that's right.
Now, here's the thing. You're on Facebook. Are you on Instagram with it?
I'm not on Instagram yet. Nope,
Okay.
just Facebook.
All right. So in the near future, we're going to see you on Facebook. On Instagram, LinkedIn, and different places
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. I need to spread it out a little.
So the 100% way to get in contact with you would be to go to that page on Facebook right now.
Yes.
All right. So definitely everybody that's seeing that right now in the live and who will be watching later, and if you're listening to this later, it'll be in the show notes how to get in touch with her. Definitely do that. Now, once you got this going, how does this make you feel? Because you're juggling being a mom, being everything in the world.
Yeah.
How do you do all that?
Yeah. Well, the business is still slow going, so we're still growing. But after getting rid of a food addiction, there's something called transfer addiction, and it's very real. And they talked about it all through before surgery with us. That you can turn alcoholic very quickly. You can turn shopaholic very quickly because you're focused on food for so long. You feel like you need to focus on something else. And a lot of times it turns into something bad. So just been trying to keep myself busy with other things. I also like to bake, and I like to crochet or knit. So I've been trying to pull out my old hobbies and keep myself busy in that way. But, volleyball season just started, and my 16-year-old is keeping me busy with that. And then, so just momming keeps you busy as well. But
Okay.
definitely trying not to become addicted to anything else.
Okay.
So finding something else to keep you busy, and Simply Braids has been great with that.
All right. And what about the family and friend support? How's that help you? Anybody you want to give a quick shout out
It's
to?
huge. It's huge. The bariatric girls that had it before me, Lisa and Jenny and Sherry, those three ladies have helped me through a lot of this with advice. And, right after the surgery, you're on a liquid diet only for like 2 months.
Whoa.
Yeah. And that liquid diet was 2 weeks before surgery, which that was the hardest part. The hardest part of this whole process was the 2 weeks before on a liquid diet because you're so hungry. I was starving myself, it felt like. It was torturous for those first 2 weeks leading up to surgery. But so you're on a liquid diet for almost 2 months after your surgery as well. And I turned to them for so many questions and so much help with my surgeries. And then I have my friends like Ashley and Katie and my children and my family. My mom has been there for me, helped me with the kids when I had so many appointments. Calvin is a really big support system as well. He's always been into health. And so he was all for, me becoming a healthier version. And he has been very, very supportive in this as well. So definitely takes a village. And I have a lot of support behind me, a lot of positivity, which is what you need. My dad, prior to this, he had a really bad surgery experience, and so he was really nervous for me to have this surgery. He's like, Amy, you have 4 kids that rely on you. Like, this is a big deal. Are you sure this is what you want to do? Are you sure you want to have this surgery? And I said, yes, I have 4 kids, and that's why I feel like I need to do this, to be here longer for them. Yes, there's risk in this surgery, and I understand that. And all of the papers that you have to sign prior to the surgery can really scare you away. There are people out there in the bariatric community who cut off their surgery because of the nervousness leading up to it. And I'll tell you what, the morning of my surgery, my mom was with me, and I was terrified. But just jumping in with both feet and getting it done and starting the process is key. But yeah, having a positive support system is everything.
Okay, and then your dad, with him coming around.
He did. He's come around. He was there for me. He, just is so happy with the health journey that I've been on. It was just the initial surgery that he was very scared for me to go through. So once we made it through that with flying colors, then he's all gung ho for it. So
Okay.
yeah, super supportive.
All right. Now, before we end this thing, what I want to do here is I want you to give like a mission statement for anybody that's on the fence right now. Because here's the thing: when you go through an experience, doesn't make you an expert.
No.
But when you go through an experience, it makes you a storyteller. And being a storyteller, there's no fiction in your story. It's all fact because you lived it, you breathed it, you did every type of inception you can do with this. What is the first thing initially after you get that brochure? Because I gave you a brochure, right? Or you
Yeah.
After you read through that brochure, we'll do it this way. What was the first thought after you read through the brochure?
Holy crap, I have 6 months of all these appointments that I have to go through. Is this worth it? Like, it was a lot. Like, I thought, oh yeah, 3 months, I'll be having the surgery, no problem. No, my insurance required a certain amount of time, and it was a whole long list of things. And it was like, okay, overwhelming, but let's start at the top and let's just slowly get these suckers checked off. And then it's such a life-changing thing. Like with the bypass that I had done, I cannot have ibuprofen for the rest of my life.
Okay.
I can have Tylenol, but anything ibuprofen-based is not okay. It can cause ulcers immediately in your stomach. And I was like, oh my God, I live off ibuprofen. Like, is that is that going to be a deal breaker for me? And there's just a lot of little things like that you just have to really run the pros and cons. And everything pointed to weight loss surgery. I mean, truly, you can't beat being healthy. So, trying to get your mind right, being prepared for the changes that you will be going through and seeing. Sometimes they say don't weigh yourself every day. I weigh myself every day. And I can't help it. Sometimes it'll go up, sometimes it falls drastically down. And I've gotten to the point now where when it does go up a little bit, it doesn't hurt my feelings. Because I know that it'll eventually come down again. And it's just, I just encourage people to take that leap.
Okay. Now, we'll go to another step in this. 6 months post.
Mm-hmm.
How were you feeling 6 months after the surgery?
Yeah. Now I'm 8 months post-op, but 6 months after was around my 40th birthday.
Okay.
And I had a goal of I wanted to lose 100 pounds at that point. And I had hit that goal. And it was amazing, an amazing feeling. I was feeling good. I was back into my exercise. I go to exercise dance classes at the Vibe Studio, and it's the best exercise ever, especially for an old cheerleader. The dance routines are everything. It brings it all flooding back. But such good workouts, and just feeling so good in your skin and being very proud of yourself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And I like that. Now, this is for your daughters, and the camera's right there. I'm going to move away a little bit. What's the message, the lasting message? Because, once you're on video, that's forever.
Yeah.
And it'll sit on YouTube or wherever it's at. What's the lasting message you want to leave for them? You're not going to pass away or nothing, but what's the message you want to leave for them and instill in them for the rest of their lives and every other young woman out there?
To keep striving for what you believe in, keep going, do your very best in life, and always focus on yourself as well. You want to not leave yourself in the dark, which I did, and just bring yourself back out there and focus on you. You got it.
Okay. Now, just a little fun part to this. There's a movie. What's that movie called? They made 2 of them. The girls singing. Those 2 movies, what are they called?
Girls singing them?
They sing it. They're a group. And they're in
Like Pitch
college.
Perfect?
Pitch Perfect.
Oh my gosh, we love that movie.
All right, now, there was a character in this movie.
Fat Amy. Are we going
Yes.
there?
So, that character right there,
Yeah.
it was a personification a long time ago. And we see what she looks like now.
Yeah, she looks great.
So, have you had any thought patterns about her in you? Or did this just come across because I correlated it?
I think it's just the name for sure. But, she, in that movie, her character, she was super confident. She didn't really care what anybody thought. And truly, that's kind of the mindset that I was with as well is, I spent high school caring about what everybody thought about me and trying to be like as kind and caring as possible, and letting people talk to me in horrible ways and just letting it slide off my back. And now I really don't care
Boundaries.
about people's opinions of me. I'm confident in who I am, and I was like that prior to surgery, and I'm like that now, even more so, if anything. I do find now that, people that don't know me, women that don't know me, look at me a certain way now. Before, when you're a big girl, everybody's kind. Women are kinder. And now I feel like I get kind of an ugly look a little bit from women that don't know me. Now, people that do know me, I've had so many people come up to me and say, "You're killing it. You look amazing." Love that. Love the support. You know, it's awesome feeling. But also when it comes to men, when I was plus size, you know, didn't have doors held for me. People will trip over themselves now to hold a door, and it's crazy.
Wow.
So a wild feeling.
That's crazy, the aesthetic and the way that society does things
Yeah.
like that and how people get treated differently.
Yeah, it's true. It's something that I never noticed until recently, and I'm like, you know what? Guys never did that before. It has to be the weight thing.
Right.
Yeah,
A little chauvinist on their part.
a little bit.
Yeah, so watch that, people, especially around Kimball County and Lynchburg. Now, to finish up real quick, the last thing I want to say is thank you for coming on. It was a real great pleasure having you on. Thank you to Calvin, because Calvin was a semi-spearhead. The way that this thing came about, and this is for all of our Westbrook people, I asked you to come on.
Yeah.
I watched your story, and I made sure your story got to a good point. And even if it had been bad, I would have wanted you to come on and tell your story.
Yeah.
And then I just reached out to you. We started talking, God, I want to say end of July, maybe August. And after that, we got something scheduled. And I had one free weekend before college football gets crazy. And then I knew October would be crazy. And I will be coming back in November. I can't say any names about who's coming on. But one lady does quilts and another lady, she lives on a farm. And if that doesn't tell you who it is, then, well, I can't tell you. But me and you had a good conversation going on. I sent you questions like
Yeah.
that because
Yeah.
once you told me directly what we were going to do, and then I reached out to Christina, which she'll be on next, and having people from the community come on to tell their stories, this is going to ring louder and stronger because the people we went to school with have gone through this. Everybody that we've gone to school with, the cheerleaders that were skinny then,
Yeah.
they have a story, and this is a true story of this. You know, you went from being
Not everybody stays the same size they were in high school.
right. It's only a few
not,
of us,
Yeah, not normally what happens.
right? So in that instance, having this story on here, that's where I thought it was a very authentic story. You know, because it's a true story. Facts are everywhere. Anybody can go talk to her, in whatever means that you see fit, as long as it's respectable. After 6 o'clock, don't message her. She's got a life. She's got kids. She's got things going on. She's
Probably cooking dinner.
yeah, cooking dinner. So the last thing I want to do is let you finish the show off. Give a shout out to everybody that needs a shout out.
Oh yeah, my kids. Hey guys, I love you guys so much. That is who needs the shout out for sure.
Okay.
They've been everything in this journey.
And one last thing: who is the kinder gloss? You, your younger brother, or Sean? Because the consensus is that Sean is.
Yeah, I would say Sean for
Okay.
sure.
So shout out to him.
Yeah, Drew and me, maybe not as kind. Sean will give the shirt off of his back, and I like to think I would too. But Sean's pretty awesome.
So if you got a flat tire, hopefully you see him first.
And I love you too, Drew. But, you know,
So on that note, I'm JR and she's,
I'm Amy.
and we are out of here.
Please follow WV Uncommonplace on Instagram, Tumblr, Twitter, TikTok, where we have some great content, Facebook, LinkedIn. Hit up the merch store at oncommonplace.square.site. Join the email list from the website, and rate, subscribe, and give feedback from your favorite podcatcher. And lastly, thanks for listening, and tune into the next episode.